Hey, I'm Susanna Song here with CEO Mark Porter, and we'd like to give you a business update. It's been a whirlwind for the past 45 days. Mark, you've been the CEO of Spectrum Global for that period of time, 45 days. What are some of the key things you've accomplished?
Well, whirlwind is definitely correct, Susanna, and I think we're pretty proud of what we've been able to accomplish in the last 45 days. We've really set about a process to start putting the company on solid footing going forward. And there's a lot of things involved with that. There's financial aspects of that. There's operational aspects of that, and there's strategic aspects of that. But at the end of the day, this company comes down to the people. These are service businesses that we have in this portfolio, and we've really focused hard the last 45 days on a couple of elements, and that starts with: do we have all the right people in the right seats? What's going on with the people? These are tough times. It's been very challenging times. Especially the last 12, 13 months with COVID and the impact that that's had on every business in the world, really. Each of these businesses has been affected slightly different. Each of the people are affected slightly different. So we've been focusing on those things. We look at how to capture some of the scale and some of the systems that the Highwire side is bringing, and how to make sure that we align everything so that it's best positioned to go forward. Once we've gotten through the people parts of this, and we've made some substantial changes in that, then we really move on to the real engine of the company, and that's sales and marketing. Everything we do starts with the customers and building around what our customers want, and the customers are a real driver for this business combination to begin with, right? Now we look at, how much fuel can we give that engine? Let's make sure that that engine is really finely tuned, and how do we fire that thing up? And that's where sales and marketing comes. And we're really focused on driving the sales and marketing forward as fast as possible, as streamlined as possible. And that starts with building a cohesive sales organization across the various lines of business. Because when we look at those customers, again, they're the best customers in the world. And when you start with the customer and build solutions that that the customers will purchase, and that you already have those built-in customers, it's so much faster revenue improvements, market improvements, and ultimately profitability improvements, as opposed to building a product and then finding the customers. We're really focused on going the other way and starting with those customers. So that's been important. We are going to go faster. We keep talking about that internally. We've talked about that externally. And what that means is we're going to make sure that the organization is built to accelerate into the trends that are going to drive the business through the next generation.
We are getting a lot of questions, as you know, about the delay. Why are we waiting on the PPP loan? We get emails and social media comments pretty regularly. Is there any light you can shed on that?
Yes, we've talked about it in the public filings, and very simply put, the delay is worth it. It's definitely worth the wait. It's not. It has no tangible benefit to me personally or to the shareholders of Highwire or anything like that. The SBA has very broad provisions around change of control. They're a little broader than what our legal advisors say would be a traditional change of control. And so we're giving it a wide berth because it would potentially blow up forgiveness of that loan. And doing that isn't in the best interest of the shareholders. So as we look at turning around our balance sheet, when you look at our public filings, you have to take into account that loan is out there right now as debt. And when that gets forgiven, as we expect that it should be forgiven, because we complied with all the elements of the of the program, and our bank has initially improved it and subject to SBA approval at this point. When that's done, that comes out of the debt category and will be income. So for us, it's a pretty substantial swing. And if it doesn't happen, then we'll deal with that when it comes. We've already done a lot of work to integrate the businesses and those things. We'll deal with that problem when it gets there. But for us, really, we view it as in the best interest of the shareholders long term. So I know people are frustrated. Nobody's more frustrated than we are. We expect that we should get word any day, and the sooner the better. But from my perspective, it's definitely worth the wait.
So you will get an answer from the SBA one way or another.
Yeah, and to be clear, we follow up very regularly with our bank. It is frustrating because there's no real way to get the SBA to answer or to push them. Our bank and we deal with multiple banks across the businesses. Other banks have seen the same thing, which is the SBA has gone beyond their deadlines at times. There's very limited ability to even get a status check, but the process is simple. The bank actually does their own audit first, make sure that our information ties out. Our bank says it does. The SBA has it in their hands, and we have no reason to believe that it won't be forgiven. And it's substantial enough that it makes a material difference to the business. So we're stuck in limbo, but again, good things are worth waiting for.
Yeah, and it's out of your control, out of your hands at this point.
Yes, and I don't like variables that I can't control very much, but that is one of them. And like I said, we're optimistic that it'll come soon.
Mark, what kind of light can you shed on the latest acquisition?
Well, we are very excited about the latest news around integrating the wholesale voice and data network. This is a critical step in putting this company on solid ground going forward. It is a recurring revenue business with sustained record of profitability. We bought it at a very attractive valuation, so we are really excited about what we've purchased here. In addition to the fact that it really substantially boosts our asset base, it has substantial free cash flow, which this company desperately needs. And it has, again, a customer base that we believe can be very strongly leveraged across multiple of our lines of business. So when we look at starting with the customer, we say, what do we have here? And we have a channel of 200 partners that will not only can we grow by investing in sales and marketing in a way that wasn't done before with this asset, but we can also bring our entire Overwatch platform to bear. And then we also have all the systems and intellectual property now to add on to this deal. We want to continue to add to our intellectual property stack, and we want to add to our recurring revenue stack. By building those things, we will put the company in a position where we no longer have to be constantly in a financing mode, expensive financing, toxic financing, etc. Our goal is to generate free cash flow for the entire organization and put the company on solid footing in terms of the financial foundation. That is what is going to drive shareholder value for the long term. And I know we've got all sorts of different types of investors, all sorts of different shapes and sizes of investors. But what we are driving for is a company that will build long-term equity through both organic growth and acquisition. And those acquisitions have to fit very tightly into one of our 3 operating segments, and they have to be properly valued. We're not going out and bottom feeding, looking for businesses that don't make money. And we're not looking for businesses where people are just looking to cash out at an overpriced valuation.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you can share with us about the rest of the year as you look ahead?
We're very excited about 2021. Obviously, forecasting in this environment has been somewhat challenging. In addition to the COVID situation, there's all sorts of downstream impacts. Like we're seeing the largest networking companies in the world have delays around hardware from 90 to 120 days. Typical lead time out of companies like Cisco is in the 20 to 27 day range for hardware for large scale deployments. We're seeing much longer lead times. So we're still seeing impacts in the cadence and rhythm, but the pent up demand is definitely there. The U.S. economists are forecasting a second half rebound pretty strong. We've seen tremendous signs of it already this year. We've seen some returns to normalcy and some tremendous sense of urgency in all of our lines of business. What we believe very strongly is that for this year, we can get the company into a profitable stance, generate positive cash flow by the end of the year, and really be set to continue accelerating. In general, there's a lot of consolidation going on in the technology marketplace. There's been a lot of carnage that is really just beginning to show up from COVID and the damage it caused. The hole in some people's boats have been bailing water as long as they can. They're running out of steam and running out of energy, right? There's not enough capital out there in a lot of these businesses. So we're seeing that people are either consolidators or they're being consolidated or just falling away. We believe we're very well positioned to be a consolidator as we go forward in each of the segments that we're in. We believe that our customers, because of the size and scale of our customers and the amount of purchasing power that they have, they're looking for people like us who can continue to execute for them. And they want to give us more market share. We've seen that with at least two of our key relationships, in one where we've been promoted into what they call a premier tier, and it gives us exclusive access. It gives us more opportunities. It gives us lion's share spend. We're seeing it with another vendor who has moved us up from tier 3 to tier 2 in their hierarchy. And these are multi-billion-dollar companies. So moving up in the ranks gives us far greater access to different lines of business. So as we diversify the business, as we consolidate the sales team, as we focus on sales and marketing, rebranding, and in some cases marketing for the first time ever in some of these businesses, we are looking for substantial growth. Some of that will take time and not really reflect till late in the year or maybe into 2022. But again, building on the recurring revenue footprint, all of our more project-oriented businesses will become the cherry on top, and the profitability that they generate will fall straight to the bottom line when we get all of our run rate expenses covered by the recurring revenue businesses. So we're very bullish on the year. This company is substantial. The changes will be, I think, nothing short of extraordinary. And this isn't a me thing. It's a we thing. We have great people. We have great customers. And now as we get the company position where we get away from that expensive financing, we make the changes to save money in areas where we can save substantial amounts. Frankly, just doing the blocking and tackling is going to get us through the next sort of set of gates and into the acceleration phase. Again, that go faster piece, that's what we're really looking at. We are going to go faster, and as we get the horsepower and the fuel to do it, it's only going to continue to self-perpetuate.
Awesome. Well, we've covered a lot of ground here, Mark. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Susanna, and to everybody who sees this, to our customers and our employees and stakeholders. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us, and to the shareholders and the people out there who are showing patience and investing with us. We're grateful for you guys as well. And that's at the center of everything we do, is creating value for all of those constituents.